My God, what a shitty day. Hello, I'm Julian Northbrook and welcome to another shitty Irish day. You know, there was a time when I absolutely hated travelling. I mean, absolutely hated it, but for the wrong reasons. It's not like I didn't want to travel, or that I, didn't want to see the world, see places, experience new ways of life, new cultures, new languages, and all of that stuff. But the problem is that I really had the wrong attitude towards the whole thing, and I took the wrong approach to the planning, the booking, and the actual, execution of the travelling. You see, I come from a really poor family. Lower class, working class, money was always a problem, and the conversation around our dinner table would always be along the lines of, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough money for this, we don't have enough money for that, we can't do this, we can't do that, we can't afford it. I mean, seriously, if I had £1 for every time I heard the phrase, we can't afford it, when I was a kid, I would be, rather ironically, a very rich man. And then, of course, when I got older, and I wanted to travel, and I wanted to do things, and I wanted to see the world and experience new ways of life, cultures, languages, and all of that good stuff, well, I took the approach that I was taught to take as a kid, and that was by essentially being a cheapskate, scrimping and saving my way through the entire thing, looking for the cheapest possible ways to travel, to stay somewhere, and there is a time in everybody's life where I think that is important to do. But when you become an adult, no. Because, travelling would take 10 times longer than it needed to. It would be 10 times more hassle, 10 times more stressful. Then I would get to my destination and I would be staying in these cheap-ass, shitty hostels that were uncomfortable, smelly, crowded, full of people, which I don't deal with at the best of times anyway. And, I wouldn't be able to get a good night's sleep, I'd be exhausted, and I would just be stressed out with the entire thing. So until a couple of years ago, when I made a very conscious decision to change my attitude, I simply didn't travel. And one of the biggest things that I regret now is having lived in Japan for 13 years and seen basically nothing of the country outside of Tokyo. But the thing is I always saw it as an expense, as a lot of money that would have to be spent, and I didn't look beyond that. So, as I said, I decided to change my attitude. I decided to start asking myself a different question. Instead of asking myself, can I afford this? How much money is this going to cost? I started to ask myself, how can I afford this? How can I make this pay for itself? And the result of all of this is that now when I book travel, like I just have done to go to Taipei, Taiwan, in a couple of months, I book flights for convenience. I look for the quickest, most effective routes and easiest ways to get from A to B. I book accommodation based on where I want to stay, like the places that I actually want to be in for 2-3 weeks, in locations that are convenient, that are around where I want to be. And I don't really even consider the cost. I don't even factor that into my decision-making process, because it's pretty easy to make these things pay for themselves. Take, for example, the place I'm going to be staying in Taipei. For an Airbnb, it's expensive. Really expensive. It works out at about 5 times what I could have paid for a cheaper place. But you know what? I've got a beautiful apartment in a very central location, 5 minutes walk from where the Taipei Marathon starts and finishes. It's got a balcony overlooking a park with like a terraced garden area, like a table, like a little barbecue set. It's got a hot tub, for fuck's sake. And again, yes, the cost is high, but the cost is irrelevant. Because not only have I got this great place where I'm going to be staying, which means I'll get a good night's sleep, I'll have more energy, and more enthusiasm to do all the things that I want to do, but it's a brilliant space for making videos, for doing all the kind of things that I do in my work. Not only that, an hour after booking the place, the landlady sends me an email, would you like me to arrange a car for you from the airport to the apartment on the day you arrive, and then one to take you back? Brilliant, that's another problem solved. One that I don't have to worry about, that I don't have to use my time and my energy to work out. Instead, I'm going to use that time and energy for something much, much more productive. Like having experiences, making videos, lessons, meeting my EES members, and doing all the things that I want to do, but in the past wouldn't have been able to do because I would have been worried about cost, but had failed to see that with a change in attitude, there can actually be a positive ROI, and rather than costing something, you know, these experiences can actually make me money. And I believe that if you are serious about getting good at English, at mastering the language, you also should have a similar entrepreneurial, let's say, attitude. I mean, I'm learning Chinese at the moment because when I go to Taipei, I'll be there for 3 weeks and I want to get by in the language. I want to be able to get by doing everyday things. Things like going to the supermarket, asking for directions at the station. You know, simple everyday stuff. But I want to be able to do these things in the language. I don't want to have to try to rely on English to be able to do them. What do you think I'm going to piss around trying to cobble together, piece together free shit on YouTube to do this? No, I've got better things to do with my time. I just went out and I found the best and I am using that. Quick, easy and efficient. And if you want to do the same thing with English, the place to start is doingenglish.com. Sign up for my free daily emails and at 8 a.m. Island time every single day. An email from yours truly will hit your inbox packed with all kinds of ideas, tips and good stuff for mastering the English language fast. This is Julian Northbrook signing out from another video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Perfect, sir. Can I keep the drop those up?
Lunchtime.